Hi folks, welcome to the 1160 Seawind XL. Well, we are here right on board. We're really excited to take you through a tour of this beautiful vessel. We're in Thailand, it's a beautiful day.
And this particular vessel is available for anybody to use to test sail if they're considering buying one of these boats. And that would be a free charter if you subsequently buy the boat. Free charter, yeah. Yeah, free. If you don't buy the boat, then you have to pay for the charter.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So this is in a wonderful area of sailing near Pattaya called Koh Chang. We'll talk more about that later, but let's have a look around this absolutely fantastic boat.
We'd love to show you around. Well guys, what you notice first off about this beautiful vessel is the fact that there's so much space for its 39.3 feet, and we just love it. And what you'll notice also is the fact that it's like an inside-outside area. There's a massive door. This whole area just completely opens up, and it's an amazing experience because when you're in the tropics and sailing around, you need as much ventilation as possible. So to be able to lift these doors up is wonderful. In the main saloon area, you'll notice it's a wraparound lounge. So you've got lots of space here. So there's lots of seating here. But you'll also notice behind us, we've got these massive big pop-out windows, which again, in the tropics, is a real game changer because you really want as much ventilation coming through as you possibly can. And when on anchor, you get a beautiful breeze that comes through. So you'll notice that they've got multiple hatches, so that when they're closed and it's raining, they're completely watertight. The glass is also tinted, so that prevents a certain amount of heat and sun coming through those windows. And obviously, the view is spectacular. You know, from where you are now, you can see you've got a wraparound view. So anything from the sides through to the front of the boat, you can see wherever you are in this area, whether you're in the saloon or whether you're in the back cockpit. Now this table is really versatile. So it has the ability to go down into a coffee table like this. So by simply doing a little old switcheroo, voila, you've got this lovely dining area here. So the other cool thing about this is it lowers down into a double bed. So movie nights, and for those times that you just got extra guests and you want to sleep out here, kids on board, they want to sleep out and they want to experience this wonderful cruising lifestyle. And on crossings, it's very good too, because if you're a couple, for instance, one person can be on the helm or at the helm, and the other person can be up here sleeping, but in close proximity if you need extra help. I like that. We've got the two fans, so again in the tropics, those bad boys go on and it blows any hot air out of here, and it just makes living inside that much more pleasant. So I don't know if you can see, but down here, there's international plugs, which are really important, and USB and USB-C plugs as well. That's super important on a boat because you've often got a lot of people on the boat with a lot of gadgets, phones, cameras, drones, all sorts of things, or computers. And to have those ports in really accessible areas is really great.
In the helm position on the Seawind 1160 XL, everything's really convenient. You've got two helm positions, but on this side we've got the GPS, we've got the compass, the engine controls, the anchor winch, the engine on and off, and the forwards and backwards. Obviously steering wheel and support for your legs to step up, so everything is immediately at your fingertips. And if you are in close proximity to other boats and you've got a boat close on that side, all you have to do is to take 3 or 4 steps over here and you can immediately see everything that's on that side. And of course also if you're reversing into a marina, or actually even going forwards into a marina, being on the side with the helm coming into a pontoon, it's so much easier and so much more accurate than being on the far side having to steer. So that is really good. And obviously reversing in here, it's only about 2 or 3 meters behind me that the corner of the boat is, and that's obviously exactly the same on that side. The other thing is most of the lines run back to this point, except for the jib, which runs on that side. This means all the halyards for all the sails, plus the main sheet and the spinnaker sheets and the screecher sheets run here. So you've got almost everything at your fingertips right here. This works very well. It's also very comfortable. The two of us have sat up here on multiple occasions as we're sailing along. And the other thing is, because you've got twin helms, if it's sunny on this side, you can usually go over to that side and sit in the shade. It's also useful to stay in the shade if you don't want to be bothered putting the sunshades up. From the perspective of performance on a boat, if you keep your helm position low, your boom can come down lower on the mast, closer to the saloon roof, which is right there. So your lateral forces on the boat are much less, so you have less risk of capsize. It reduces your windage and increases your sail area, and your performance will be better. We've now been sailing the boat for 2 weeks, and this helm position does work very well, and I've been very surprised at how good the visibility is out the front, because I was always a bit skeptical of that. But these windows are so wide and clear, and just by leaning forward and looking around, you have 360-degree visibility. The other thing you can sometimes do if you want to is just step forward to here, and just by leaning forward you can actually see directly at 90 degrees to the boat. So if you are coming up to things floating in the water, you can come up here and you can actually see the water's edge right there, but obviously you can also step up and look over the edge of the boat. So yeah, superb visibility from these steering positions.
So while we're talking about the steering station, there's been a lot of talk about this and the ability to see through, and what about water? Well, we came through a storm yesterday afternoon and we simply closed down those big doors that I was just talking about, and we slid this up. This is also glass, so the glass can see through, still able to see what's on your nav screen. So there's absolutely no problem with that whatsoever. In fact, it was really nice to be outside when it was bucketing with rain, and the inside stayed dry. So here's a reminder, guys, if you're liking this video, then like and subscribe, and even click the notification bell, because we have some really cool things coming up. So the boat also contains the hi-fi system, which we've linked to our phone, so we've been able to cut the rug and bust out some tunes and have a really nice ambience, because we've been able to play it through this Fusion stereo. And also the TV fits really nice into its own little cabinet slot there. It's very minimalistic. We've got some outside lighting as well as some inside lighting, so it's really handy when it's just there, just on the other side of the door. So when you turn them on, you can see which one is on because of the round little light there. So we've now turned them all on, which is really great in the dark. And then down here you have the little study nook in the hallway, but it's out of the way. I sat here and was doing some work on the computer, and you just get this little chair here. You just whiz in here and it's really convenient and tucked in the way, and John could still go in and out without having to get off the chair. And of course you've got all your ports, and you've got all of your electric panels here. Good to see we've turned the anchor light off. Oh, and there's also air conditioning that works off 240 as well. This is the 240 switchboard, and this is the 12-volt switchboard. So nice and easy, nice and accessible. Extra cabinet up here for all those things that need to be tucked out of the way. And a desk that opens up. Plenty of space in there, and we've popped our computers in there when we've gone off the boat, and heaps of space. Talking about space, this boat has so much space and so much storage, it's quite makes me a bit jealous. Lots of cupboards here. Look at all the storage. Mind you, it's a fast performance boat, so you don't want to be stocking it up too much with stuff, but simply the fact that you have the ability to put stuff in there.
That shows more how much space is actually in there.
Yeah. Great space.
More storage.
But wait, there's more.
More storage. Electronics, systems in there.
And you can store all sorts of important stuff, like toilet paper. So this is a fuel tank, and what's nice is it actually tells you the litres you've got left. 202 litres water tank. We've got 396 litres left. So that's really good because it's much more accurate than some. Step into the boudoir.
Are you taking all these people into the
Yes, I am. So come on in, because this space is just lovely. Now, one of the main things that you struggle with on a boat this size would be the fact that the space is compromised, particularly in the cabin, but not here. This is an amazing, spacious cabin, and it's easy to make the bed. We made it in such a quick time because it's easy. Because usually the bed goes all the way out to the edges, and you would be surprised as a liveaboard what a pain that is. And if you don't have it easy to make the bed, the guys just don't make it. Simply, they don't. And remember, this cabin it's on a 39-foot boat. But the other thing that I keep banging on about is the amount of headroom you've got here is amazing. So when my honey brings me a cup of tea in the morning, we can sit up in bed. And the other really nice thing is, because of where it's positioned, you look straight out to the view. So we've sat up in bed here every morning, and we've looked out at these beautiful islands, turquoise water, palm trees, white sand, and we've been sitting up with our cup of tea and just going, can you believe this? This is just awesome. This is what it's all about. It's about the lifestyle. And this boat has got so many features that just make sense. And I suppose because the guys that have designed this, Richard in particular, have been sailors all their lives. So they know what you want as a liveaboard. They know what you want as a cruiser. And it's awesome. So again, in the cabin, lots of storage. We've got these really handy shelves because they're really great for stuff that you just want to pull out. There's all sorts of like storage under here. Storage under here.
Storage.
Voila! That goes right through. It's a bit hard to see.
There's a hanging rack there for clothes, dresses.
All essentials. And then under here, you've got more storage. And what I really like is also the ventilation in here. So straight over the bed, you've got a hatch, and you've got the mosquito net, which is really fantastic in the tropics. And then to get some cross flow, you've got this hatch up here. So you pop those two hatches and you get this lovely cross through breeze, as well as you've got the fan there when there's no breeze at all. It really cools things down and makes a difference. It's really great because there's plenty of space, and you've got this glass area here that you can just close off like this. And what else I really like is these seats, because when it's rough and you're slipping and sliding around, you really need something like this so that you can not fall over. And the other really great thing is the designers of the Seawind are sensible. So they've put the handholds in the right place where you're going to need them, because they know that's where you need them. So there's lots of handholds in this bath area here, as well as all around the boat, which is really impressive, because when you don't know the boat and you go to step somewhere and you look for somewhere to put your hand, immediately a handhold appears. So also there is storage in here. Heaps of room.
That's absolutely enormous. Because we have outboards, the engine space is free, so this is an enormous space.
So, and it cleans so easily. I cleaned this bathroom and it's absolutely so easy to clean. This boat is really easy to clean because you also have this veneer type finish, and with a wipe over you can just clean it really easily. That's so good. So let's go to the starboard hull. Now, stepping down here, you have the galley, which is really great because it means that you've got all the kitchen down here and you haven't got any of the kitchen area or the galley area interfering with your entertainment and your lounging up in this area here. This works really well on smaller boats, and also they've kept this space open so that you get the cross flow. But not only that, if you're down in a galley and you've got guests up here or people up here, you're still part of the conversation. So it's a very sensible boat. It's a very social boat. And we've tried all those things out when we've had people on board, and it's been marvellous. I haven't been just cut out of the conversation. So this is the second cabin, and again, it's really spacious, and even though it's tucked into the wall, you can decide if you want to lie this way or you want to lie this way or this way too. You've also got a nice hatch here that you can pop open. Also, you can pop open the bathroom, so you're still getting that nice cross flow breeze, which is what you need in the tropics. The beds are very comfortable, and it's not, the bed sizes have not been compromised at all. Yeah. Lots of storage again. Lots of storage. And here. And the finish is just lovely. This particular boat has got a nice pine and white, which gives it a really light, cool type of feeling, clean. There's also some storage behind here. So you can hang up your kinis and your sarongs. Okay, and this is the head.
Standard toilet, hand basin, bidet.
And you got a lovely shelf in there.
And space under.
And also some space under here to put your things in. This shower pulls out into a, it can be a shower. So officially there are 2 showers on board. Actually there's 3. And there's one at the step. Yeah. Yeah, so, and also there's some storage in here. And you have the tanks as well, the holding tanks. So we're down here in the galley, which is absolutely delightful. Spacious enough, plenty of storage. This is a big freezer. It's a jumbo type of freezer. So you've got lots of space in there. And you've got a fridge here. So you've got ample room for storing cold stuff. But there's also your usual stuff, you know, your pots, your pans, your dishwashing liquid, microwave space, slidey cupboards for any pantry stuff, or unless you want to keep other stuff in there. But I like this idea. It comes with, you know, these separated areas where your cups and your plates aren't going to go for a tumble, and also these plates and all that storage there is fantastic. You've got your stove, 3 burner, and you've got your oven as well. So you've got an oven and a grill. And this is really cool here because a lot of the heat just rises up and goes out the window, which is awesome. Another really cool thing is having this hatch right here because it gives you so much ventilation. If it does get a bit steamy in the kitchen, whew, that hot air just rises out of here. Double sink, and honestly, this galley is really functional. It's got everything you need, and the thing I like is I've been down here when we've been a bit rough. We have come through a storm and it's been rocking like this, and you've got plenty of stability and plenty of support. This is actually officially a galley. This is what a galley is supposed to be. 2 strips like this, and it's great, and it cleans really well. Have a look at this bench top. Now I know guys probably won't be that interested in it, but this is actually manufactured at Seawind, and it's almost like a fiberglass resiny thing. It's a secret how they do it, but they've also managed to put some speckles in it to give it,
hide the dirt.
Which do hide the dirt. But it's so easy to clean, honestly. You just wipe it down, and it doesn't stain, because I have spilt some stuff like really bright orange curry, and it just wipes off really easily. So it's good stuff. I don't know what it is, but it's good stuff. So ask Richard. This is the 3rd double cabin, not as spacious as the others, but still, you've still got ample room for 2 people in here. It's also got some great ventilation coming through here, and it's compact, but it's also still got some storage. So even under the bed is storage, so all right the way down here and all the length of the bed is storage. Can you believe that?
Oh, thank you. So, storage there.
I could hide in there. Look
So,
at all that
as you can
space.
see, that is an enormous space.
It is. And another really sweet feature are these slanted windows here. So you can't open them, but they're there for privacy. It's really hard to see in. And these are in the bathroom as well, in that head over there. And they're such a nice feature. And when you're on the outside of the boat, you can actually see these, and they're lovely, aren't they? They're style, give you some light, but they also give you privacy.
So the side decks on the Seawind 1160XL, very wide, plenty handholds. These are the steps for climbing up onto the saloon roof to manage the mainsail, which is in a bag with lazy jacks. It works very well and comes down really, really easily. So we have wide open decks, very comfortable. Of course, the self-tacking jib, absolutely wonderful to use. The boat just flips from one tack to the other completely effortlessly, actually, and without paying any attention to the lines. You just flop the boat over from one side to the other and the jib goes around, tightens on the other side, and off you go again. It's just great. Again, on this boat we have lots of storage. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lockers. Obviously some of them are for the anchor, so that is the windlass with the anchor below, and the anchor locker is so deep you never ever have to worry about castling. We haven't had a jam on that anchor for the 2 weeks that we've been using it, so it works absolutely wonderfully. The anchor drops down there on a roller, and there is a bridle attached to the strong points there, leading down to the hook and then up the other side. Bowsprit with a screecher on the rolling furler, which works exceptionally well as well, and you furl the screecher using that winch there, which is electric. It makes it so easy. Likewise, the jib is on a furler. Because it's a self-tacking jib, it's relatively short and doesn't go as far as the mast, so there's no overlap, but it does drive the boat really well, and this boat performs phenomenally well considering it's only a 39-footer. But I'll just run through these other lockers. This locker is sails, that locker is ropes and second anchor, and this locker is fenders and spare water. This locker is fuel tank and spare fuel. Again, managing the boom is actually quite easy. You have a shroud here which you can support yourself up to the roof, and then everything on the mast is at waist height. That is so easy, even for Elizabeth, and we all know Elizabeth's really tall, but she manages this all by herself. This is the carver hook type setup. That top batten is able to fold down into the boom bag when you want to close it. Walk on solar panels here, 2 more solar panels on the back. It certainly keeps the boat fully charged all the time, and by lunchtime it's at full charge again, so it's really quite amazing. Princess seats or dolphin seats, A-frame, really everything just works so well. Radar, beautiful girl in the aft cockpit. Clips for safety harnesses as well in a variety of places. 2 winches for managing the jib.
So I've spent a lot of time out the back here in the back cockpit because contemplating my navel. No, I've really spent a lot of time out here. It's a really lovely area, lovely and cool, but you've still got the shade over top from the roof. And also, these seats here, they come with cushions if that's what you want to have on them. So that would make it even more comfortable. But what I'd like to show you here is these are functional. This side, if you're at the helm, but then they both flip both sides, as easy as that. So you become part of the conversation. So you can sit here, you can still see what's going on, but you're not isolated like a lot of people are when they've, their helm stations are up high. I like that.
Do you want a beer?
Yeah. Thought you'd never ask.
Okay,
barbecue.
Sexy woman comes with this boat. Okay, a couple of small things. The shower on the Seawind 1160XL is in the targa bar, so it fits in there, which is quite an interesting place for it to go. It just clips in, so very neat. We didn't just do a boat show walkthrough of this 1160XL.
We lived on it, we sailed it, and we experienced it for ourselves. 2 full weeks pushing it, sailing it, and discovering what this boat is really made of. Not showroom talk, real world performance, comfort, and livability.
So Ellie, how was it for you?
Well, 2 things stood out immediately, which was space and simplicity. This boat just works. Huge usable space and livability. A practical galley, genuine comfortable cabins, and enough space for couples or families. And the handling, effortless. I could have sailed it solo. I've even packed the sail bags all by myself, and that's really how easy it is. And you, John?
Look, for me, the performance was an absolute mind blower. This boat really flies. It was doing 4 knots in 6 knots of wind and 6 knots in 9 knots of wind with only the screecher up. So that is just amazing stuff. It also headed upwind beautifully and tacked through 90-degree angles effortlessly with absolutely no handling of any ropes. This was just so beautiful. And the other point is build quality. Solid, quiet, no creaks and no flakes. We've also seen how these boats are built. We've been to the factory and we know that the bulkheads are actually molded into the hulls and they're also fiberglassed in as well. So these boats are phenomenally strong. These boats are out there proving themselves, crossing oceans, circumnavigating and being out there in the absolute worst conditions and coming through unscathed.
So what you get here is space, performance, comfort, simplicity and strength.
And at this price that you can buy one of these boats for, this is seriously hard to beat. And Seawind has just done something seriously unexpected. They've beaten their own already incredible price. For a limited time only, you can get this boat for just $399,000, but only if you mention the Barefoot Doctors. That's a straight up $41,000 saving, and when it's gone, it's gone. So if you're even remotely considering it, don't wait. Reach out now before you miss out. And just to be clear, as always, we're not getting a cent from any of this. Seawind CEO Richard Ward simply gave us the boat for 2 weeks, no strings attached, while ours is stuck thanks to the Middle East war. So Richard, a massive thanks to you.
And for us, 2 weeks of pure sailing heaven.
And this is just the beginning. In the next episode, we're diving really deep into how the Seawind 1160 XL actually performs.
So if anyone wants to take this further and is really interested in the Seawind, you can contact these guys at Seawind and they'll even let you have a test sail on this very boat.
So the Seawind 1160 XL gets a double thumbs up from us.
As always, thank you to our wonderful Patreons that help support our charity, Tough Minds, that are helping people and saving lives from suicide every single day. So, no, hang on.
Oh, dirty mark.
Your coffee.
And if you are steering close, and if you are in close, those floating things in the water, the fishing...
UFOs?
UFOs.